Right, now we're going to look at League One. And Mark, I'll start with you on this one.
Yeah, I've been backing one team all summer, and that's Charlton, and I'm not deserting them now. I know they're 14-1 into around about 8-1, and I can easily see why I'm sort of one of those people that's been sort of banging the Addicts drum all summer long. At the sign, just great players for League One. You know, they've been beating Championship teams, 2 players. Danny Green was one of the best players in the division last season from Dagenham. They've got him in. Danny Hollands at Bournemouth, one of the best central midfielders. They've got him in. Dale Stevens was at Southampton. They've brought him in. They've got Johnny Jackson on the left. Bradley Wright-Phillips up front, who's a Golden Boot favourite. There's goals aplenty in this team, I've no doubt about it. Defensively, Royce Wiggins was one of the possibly even the best player in the division, certainly from a defensive point of view. The left back, he's a great signing, as is Ben Hamer, the goalkeeper. Slight concern is Chris Powell. He's obviously inexperienced and did a poor job when he was there last season, but that wasn't his team. He was trying to play football and it didn't really work out. He's got rid of a lot of players. He's brought in better ones, and I'm prepared to give him a chance.
And I suppose if things don't go particularly well at the start of the season, he's going to get a little bit of leeway from the fans as well, and he's obviously been supported by the board.
Yeah, he is, and I think he sold a dream to the players as well, because they're not paying massive money here. They just, you know, it's a good League One level. But like I say, that there's Championship teams that were in for some of these players, like Danny Green, and he sold them this vision of Charlton being able to get not only back to the Championship, but I feel they believe that it's all set in place for a Premier League return in a few years' time. And I just feel that at the value, they're still the bet for me. I can't really have Huddersfield. No League One favourite has won this division.
It's a real graveyard, isn't it?
Yeah, 17 years and counting since the last favourite won it. So they're not the ones for me. So I'm all over Charlton.
It seems to me that it's a bit like, James, it's very similar to League Two in many respects, that you've got big clubs going down into that and they're forming the market. I'm thinking particularly the 2 Sheffield clubs.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, I wouldn't be backing either Wednesday or United. And Mark's made some a strong case for Charlton with the recruitment there. It will be interesting to see how Chris Powell kind of develops as a manager there. He wasn't particularly impressive last season. There's one big name manager in the division now, Phil Brown at Preston. And I think of the kind of market leaders, they're the ones that appeal to me. They kind of put up a good fight under Brown to try and avoid relegation in the Championship. They finished fairly strongly, and he's, you know, love him or loathe him, and I suspect most people fall into the latter camp. He did a fantastic job at Hull, and I mean, I think Huddersfield, we always seem to be mentioning them at the start of the season. They never quite get over the line.
They were so unlucky, though, to get so many points as they did and not go up.
The words unlucky in Huddersfield seem to just go together.
We seem to be every August we tend to say this.
And it's how they respond to that disappointment. So yeah, in terms of kind of a guy who knows how to kind of get a good team spirit at a club and knows how to get teams promoted, I'll be looking at Preston under Phil Brown.
I think I definitely agree with you that I wouldn't be rushing in to get the Sheffield teams. I mean, Danny Wilson has got a hell of a job at Sheffield United just on the basis of his background. You know, he's got to win people over straight away, and there's not going to be much patience, you know, shown towards him, is there? And Gary Megson and Milan Mandaric is a fiery relationship at Sheffield Wednesday.
Yeah,
isn't it?
I saw Sheffield Wednesday play towards the end of the season, and the fans were singing, "You don't know what you're doing" to Megson. He's somebody that couldn't get Nottingham Forest out of the division, and that Nottingham Forest side is a lot better than the players he's working with at Sheffield Wednesday. I mean, that Forest team really should have gone up under him, and they didn't. So if he can't get Forest out of the division, I don't see why he'll get Sheffield Wednesday out. And Sheffield United, I'll be surprised if they finish in the top 6. I mean, they were an abysmal Championship team last season. They've got good young players, but it's whether they can actually hold on to them. There's already clubs sniffing around. You know, there's a few Premier League teams looking at the side because the academy team got to the FA Youth Cup final. So there might be some young players coming through, but it's not really the division where you want to be sort of throwing in 18, 17-year-old lads. And I can't be backing either of the Sheffield sides.
Looking a little bit further down the list, I think it's quite interesting that two teams that got to the playoffs last year, MK Dons 16-1, Bournemouth 28. I know a lot's been made of the Eddie Howe factor, but they had quite a successful second half to the season. When you consider the overhaul that took place when he left,
Yeah.
Are you surprised to see them down there at that sort of price?
I mean, they did have a fantastic run last season. You know, every time they go on a good run, they seem to lose their top goal scorer, their manager, whatever. And as Mark mentioned, they've lost a couple of really, really key players to Charlton. So I mean, it would be fairly miraculous if they could reach the playoffs again. MK Dons, I think, maybe a bit more progressive. Young manager, I think his second season this will be, and so you could see them.
Yeah, I like them quite a lot.
kind
I
of
think
price,
they're a decent each way poke when a lot of teams seem to be priced up on their history rather than what they do. And they seem the sort of team that could come through, and I don't think anybody will run away with it like Brighton did last year. But I think they're a decent each way poke.
Yeah, they certainly are a team I'm looking to get with in match bets, because I can't see them finishing sort of out of the top 6 or 7, and the teams they're paired in with are like Scunthorpe and sides like that. So I can definitely see them doing that, and they've kept hold of Baldock, who is certainly one of the best League One strikers, no doubt about it.
So, Mark, if you were having a League One bet, what would it be?
Yeah, I've said Charlton, but one other one, Brentford on the handicap.
Yeah. What do you like about them?
Well, it's the Rosler factor. Juve Rosler's gone in there. They're playing some terrific football, and if you're looking for a season-long bet to give you some interest, I think on the handicap, Brentford would probably be my bet of the League One.
And what about you, James?
I'll stick with Preston under Phil Brown. The future's bright, the future's orange.
Oh, very good. And I'll be having an each way poke on Milton Keynes. I think that, like I say, lots of teams have been priced up on reputation and history rather than the quality of their squads, and they could come through and have a decent fist of going up this year.